Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Ken. Thanks. Welcome. Welcome to the third annual Wharton San Francisco Social Impact Conference. My name is Steve Hernandez. I'm the Director of Career Management here for Wharton San Francisco, and I'm here on behalf of the staff, students, and faculty of Wharton San Francisco to welcome you to our third annual conference. Just a quick show of hands. How many of you have been to this conference before? Great, great. And how many of you have been to this campus before? Awesome, great. So for those of you that have been here for the first time, just briefly, I promised that I would only talk for 20 minutes, right? Briefly, Wharton has had a presence here in San Francisco since 2001. It was originally a hub for faculty research and executive education. It soon became the home of the Wharton MBA for Executives program. And in 2011, when I started, part of the agenda that we used to talk about with my boss, Bernadette Burt, and Doug Collum, our vice dean, was to build community. We've got some great programs here. The next step is to build community. And I think conferences like this are an example of that. And what's even more extraordinary is that, you know, this is student-driven. I mean, our students here, our resident students based here in San Francisco are pretty extraordinary folks, holding full-time positions, changing careers, starting companies, innovating, and building communities such as this. So I thank you all for being part of that legacy and part of that growth. We have about 1,400 local alumni in the market now, 600 of which I've worked with personally. And what I love about my job is the impact I have. As a career director, I work with individuals that want to start companies, that want to build new product, that want to impact the social good. And I get to be a part of that every day. And it's amazing to see this talent in the room come together. We have investors here, we have business leaders, we have community leaders, we have entrepreneurs, all come together for one purpose, and that is the social good, making the world a better place, taking the talents of Wharton, taking the talents that you bring, and impacting the world. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of Wharton. And I really want to thank the team. Kathy's going to talk more about the organizers, but Kathy, Arun, Priyanshu, Shika, well done. Sham, well done. And for continuing the legacy that started 3 years ago. So to get started, I'll get off the stage. I want to introduce our manager of community impact from the Wharton Social Impact Initiative in Philadelphia, Stephanie Kim. Thank you very much and welcome.
Morning, everyone. Wow, great turnout. So while we're waiting for the PowerPoint to come up, I just want to say that I'm so grateful to be here this year. We've had Wharton Social Impact Initiative present in this conference for the past few years, but this is the first time that we were invited to give a little talk about what we actually do, which is really important because we do a lot, actually, but it tends to be a black hole for students out in San Francisco and students in the executive cohort overall, just because you guys are so busy. We're trying to figure out how to best work with you. So I will try and keep this brief because I know how easy it is to get behind schedule at the start of a conference, but I brought a lot of notes and I'll try and blow through them as quickly as possible. But first of all, I want to know my audience a little better. How many of you are a part of the Wharton community in one way or another? Great, okay, and how many of you are here because you heard about it and you thought it'd be really cool and awesome? Look at this. Okay, so I'll try and use external language. We have a lot of jargon and acronyms that we tend to use a lot in the Wharton community, but I'll try and make it accessible to everyone. So first of all, what is the Wharton Social Impact Initiative? We were established in 2009, and we're the institutional hub for social impact research, information, and resources at Wharton. So we support faculty, students, and alumni in the drive to use business knowledge and practices to enhance the greater good of the local community, the nation, and the world. It's a lot. So I'm going to stand here with my clicker, and I could, or actually, you guys could see me if I stand here, right? So I could, yeah, all right. So in short, we act in 4 major ways. We are a hub, we're a launch pad, there we go, a thought leader, and a source for positive impact now. And we accomplish this through 4 activities. We do projects and collaborations across the university, across the city of Philadelphia, and across the country and across the globe, actually. We support and engage students, many of whom we hope in the future will be executive students, and we do a lot of research and thought leadership. So this morning, I'll talk through a few examples of this, and I'll also have a table set up later today where you're welcome to come and learn more about what we do and how you could get involved. Just look for the banner that says "Business for Good is good for business," because it is. All right. So the projects and collaborations that we do incorporate our roles as a hub, launchpad, thought leader, and source of positive impact now. So this is where we get stuff done. 2 that I'll highlight here, you'll probably have heard about our Impact Investing Initiative. This is a multifaceted program that incorporates industry-leading research, the Wharton Social Venture Fund, which consists of MBA and undergrad students, and just launched Our Crowd, which is the largest student-run impact investing fund in the world. The MBA Impact Investing Network and Training Program, also known as MINT, is an experiential learning opportunity that includes 200 students from 11 top business schools around the world and culminates in a final pitch competition in April. So this is another way to get involved. And lastly, we have our Capital for Social Impact series, which is in partnership with the Rockefeller Foundations. And it's a series of discussions that brings our knowledge of impact investing to Penn alumni around the world. So we have a couple of dates that we'll share with you. The initiative that I have the privilege of working on is called All In Philadelphia, and it's all in like poker chips, though we don't play with them. And it's a massive effort to work with major corporations, entrepreneurs, small businesses, and investors to contribute to inclusive growth in the city of Philadelphia. We really want to do more work in San Francisco too, but Philly, it's in our backyard. It's really our responsibility to do something. So that's where we're starting. Every year in Philadelphia, there are 850 full-time MBAs who start in our program. And so during their preterm session, we have an information session where a third of the class shows up. That's huge for Wharton. And so we are designing our programming to respond to their needs and interests, and we're continuing to learn what makes them tick. And my next step is learning what makes executive students tick. What are you guys looking for, and how can we create more programming that is responsive to your needs and interests? We do this in a few ways, though. We run the Social Impact Fellowship and Consulting Corps. This year, we have 60 students involved, and what we do is we carve out a portion of our work for students to actually drive it forward. So this morning, for instance, I'm actually hopping out to have one of our student teams present to a social impact committee of CEOs across the country, which is led by a Wharton alum and the CEO of Ben & Jerry's, and they've been working with a mid-market corporation to incorporate social impact into their core business model. And this isn't just doing like a volunteer day or a cause marketing fundraising campaign. This is looking at their supply chain, looking at how they're working with other companies around them to make better impact. We also have other things we do. We support undergrad and MBA student initiatives like this conference. We provide summer funding for students who are doing social impact internships, since we know that the market is still underpaying or not paying this kind of work. And we also do loan forgiveness for Wharton alums who are going out and working in jobs. We provide up to $20,000 a year to pay down student loans for students who are working in social impact. Lastly, I'll touch on our research and thought leadership, because at Wharton, it's our imperative to lead the global discussion across corporations and universities on how to do good and do well. So we have our Fund for Social Impact Research. These past 2 years, we've supported 13 doctoral and faculty projects. We have our Capital for Social Impact series through our impact investing work. So far, we've spoken at Palo Alto, New York, Miami. Soon we'll be presenting in London and Hong Kong. So stay tuned for those. Follow us if you want to get involved with that. We have visiting speakers, we have visiting social entrepreneurs and residents who are meeting with our students one-on-one as they pitch their ideas to them and are getting feedback. And lastly, we have a radio show through the Wharton Business Radio station, Sirius XM 111. Our show is called Dollars and Change, and it's 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern every Thursday morning. So it's a little early for you guys out here, but we have hosts from our staff, including yours truly, and we talk about relevant current issues, and we invite guests to come and speak with us. So that's a lot. Let me wrap up with just giving you a few ways to connect. You could listen to us on Dollars and Change, or you could join us on the guests. We talk about social entrepreneurship, impact investing, gender lens investing, marketing for social impact, urban community development, you name it, we could talk about it. If you work in that space, we want to hear from you. You could attend the Capital for Social Impact series. So London will be April 1st, and then we'll be announcing the Hong Kong date a little later on. You can host an intern at your organization. So for those of you who are working in a social impact organization and could use some internship help, we have funding to support students to work with you. And these kids are really smart. So You could come speak at a lunch lecture, or you could support us with funding, because that's how we roll. Keep in touch. I'll have a table set up later to come and talk, but you're welcome to come and learn through these different mediums. You can reach us at socialimpact@wharton.upenn.edu. And I just want to say thanks again. I think today's going to have such productive and thought-provoking discussion, and I hope there are new relationships formed. But without further ado, let me now introduce the conference chair, Kathy Sarabi, who will be introducing our keynote. Thank you.
So I'd like to welcome you all to our third annual Social Impact Conference here on the San Francisco campus. We are delighted to host you here today and very excited to have had an opportunity to invite an amazing array of speakers. And they're going to be talking about a very interesting set of topics, and hopefully we'll all leave today. Doesn't work? Can you hear me now? And hopefully you will all leave here today with more information about the space and also a lot more connections and opportunities for further action. In the interest of time, I'm going to make my remarks very short. You all have a booklet, so I'm not going to go into details about the program. Two issues. We have a slight change in the program. We are going to have 2 idea pitch sessions today instead of the 1 that's in the program. The morning session will take place at the end of our second panel, right before the lunch break. So please be on the lookout for that one. And then in your ID badge, you will find a few tickets. The orange ticket is used to claim your gift pack when you leave at the end of the day, so please make sure to pick it up. And then the yellow tickets are used for raffles, so please don't lose them. With that said, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our first keynote of the day, Ms. Keeley Stevenson.